And my connection to the Fortunato family was going way back to St. Paul High School. I knew John from there as a parent, Sharon as a parent, Heather as a student, Heidi as a student, and also Heidi was a babysitter for my 2 kids. So, and that goes with, and she did a good job because they turned out well. So I'd just like to again welcome you. We're very fortunate to have the Sports Hall of Fame with us. We're grateful that you're with us. We hope you stay for many years. I'd like to introduce Bob, the Vice President, Bob Callett, and the MC for this evening.
Tom's correct, and I know that in 1908, I think Jack Hines was in that graduating class. So Jack can verify that it was here. Thank you, Tom, for that introduction. Before we get started, Tom did mention that we're all in this together, and the Historical Society is really trying hard to maintain this building. Old buildings are very difficult to maintain. Right now, they need a new roof. The first floor is pretty well done. The second floor has a lot of potential. I know some of you may have had classes up there at one time, or detention or whatever. But they're always trying, who's that? Mills, he's on detention here. But they're trying very hard, with limited funds. So tonight, I'm only going to ask you, there was no admission charge for this event. In the hallway, in the main lobby, is a box for collection. So if you felt inclined to do so, would like to make a donation to help the Historical Society, I'm sure they would appreciate it. And
Bob, that would all go to our brick restoration work that we're currently doing. So it's not going to go to general fund. It will be particularly toward brick restoration work, so we continue on our roof in June.
And they do have, if you didn't have it, as you mentioned, our room is open. The Military Museum, that Jack Dennehy started, Carol's here tonight. And there's also a nice display of Bristol memorabilia in the room across the hall. So if you have time, take a look at it. It is an honor tonight for John and his family that is well deserved. We are pleased to have John's wife, Sharon, here tonight, and daughters Heidi and Heather, as well as some other family members. So at this time, would you please stand and be recognized? Okay, it's now my pleasure to introduce the President of the Hall of Fame, Mr. Jack Hines.
I was going to thank Bob for those kind words, but they weren't that kind. Welcome. Bristol Sports Hall of Fame welcomes you to tonight's program as we dedicate our memorabilia room after one of our founders, John Fortunato. After 17 years of honoring others, John is being honored himself. John played a major role in the planning and overseeing of the formation of the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame. John set a great example for me to follow as executive director and president of this organization. On behalf of the board of directors, our inductees, and the entire Hall of Fame family, we are pleased to bestow this honor on John with the name of this special room, the John Fortunato Room. This tribute honors his years of service not only to this organization, but John's sincere concern for the young people in the greater Bristol community. In closing, I want to thank John's wife, Sharon, and his family for sharing John with us for all those years. Thank you all for attending, and special thanks to Bob Callett and his committee for a job well done.
I want to apologize because I neglected to mention John's sister is here with us, Mary Santorsa. So Mary, please. Dan Valerio wanted me to mention that Dan was John's first coach when he was in 7th grade at St. Anthony's School. Now, Tonight's event would not have been possible without the help of many individuals. I had a great committee to work with. My fellow committee members were Pat Parenti, Jack Krampus, and Bob Montgomery. So you three stand and please be recognized. Also, we received help from other members, Dave Mills, Hank Lodge, Mark Redmond, Tom Mazzarella, and my wife Patty, who is helping out the food. So those people too. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased that so many of our past inductees are here tonight. I think it's a tribute to John that they're here to honor him for the work he did. And I'm going to call your names. If you would stand, and if you could hold your applause to the end, but when I call your name, please stand. Jerry, if you're still able to do it. Jerry Burns. Dave Greenleaf. Dave Mills. Please stand. Whitey Dazinski. Joanne Galati. Dan Valerio. Mike Maury. Gail Erickson. Ray Talion. Debbie James. Bob Freeman. Bud Chenier. Don Titus. Phil Manarino. And Tony Carrier. Did I miss anyone? I'm sorry.
Jane Blank.
Okay.
Wickless.
Jane Wickless. Blank. I'm sorry. Very sorry. All right, let's give them a... And our park superintendent sitting back there, snuck in a little way, that's Wickless. I'm sorry. It is now my pleasure to call on the mayor of the City of Bristol, Mr. Ken Cockayne, for a special presentation.
Thank you. And a proclamation from the City of Bristol. Dedication of the Bristol Historical Society John Fortunato Room. Whereas John Fortunato had a vision of an organization that would showcase and honor the rich history of sports in Bristol. And whereas John Fortunato's vision became reality in 1997 when he co-founded the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame. And whereas John Fortunato nurtured the BSHOF over his many years as an officer, vice president, and director, and helped to evolve into outstanding community organization it is today. And whereas John Fortunato's presence can be felt in the exhibits that are on display in the Sports Hall of Fame room at the Bristol Historical Society. And whereas it is fitting that this room be dedicated to John Fortunato and bear his name. Now therefore, I, Kenneth Cockayne, Mayor of the City of Bristol, do hereby join in the BSHOF in dedicating the John Fortunato room in honor of me and legacy. In witness thereof, I have undersigned my name and caused the Great Seal of the City of Bristol to affix this first day of May in the year of our Lord 2014. Kenneth G. Cockayne, Mayor of Bristol.
Thank you, Mayor. And now I'll call upon our former Bristol Sports Hall of Fame President and former City Councilman Dave Mills, who is filling in tonight for Representative DeCastro, who is still in session in Hartford. So, Dave.
The state has more money than the city does. Obviously, that's all your money. So I promise I won't talk, which will make Hank Lodge happy, so it's only going to take a couple minutes to read. State of Connecticut General Assembly official citation, introduced by Representative Frank M. DeCastro, Sr. from the 79th District, Representative Christopher A. Wright, Christopher A. Wright from the 77th District, Representative Whit Betts from the 78th District, and Senator Jason Welch from the 31st District. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to John Fortunato, posthumously. In recognition of the memory of John Fortunato, his many accomplishments, including founding of the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame, working for the Bristol Chamber of Commerce, receiving the Chuck McCarthy Award, raising a beautiful family, John was actively involved in all aspects of the hall. John exemplified exceptional passion to honor the city's athletes, benefactors, teams, and clubs. His passion for sports and his family is remembered in all those who knew him. His presence, work, and love will not be forgotten. John's memory lives on with everyone that came to know his energetic, positive, and loving character. The entire membership extends its best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued success. Given his first day of May 2014 at the State Capitol, Hartford, Connecticut, and it's signed by President Pro Tem Donald Williams, okay? And I can't read the other one. Sure. And the Secretary of State, Denise Merrill. So at this time, I'd like to present this to Sharon. You're good?
All right, thank you, Dave, Mayor, and again, special thanks to Representative DeCastro, who made the arrangements for that citation, and obviously was unable to make it tonight. All right, at this time, we're going to, Tom Azarello is setting up a little video presentation, and I just want to say that Tom spent many hours putting this together for our induction last year, and I want to thank Tom for his effort in doing that. So, Patty, you want to get the lights?
At the time, we thought that we would try to do a Hall of Fame and museum, and we began to formulate from that point of view. Someone gets inducted into the Bristol Hall of Fame. I think that's a pretty worthy honor. To worship you, I want to say thank you. Oh, thank you for everything. Who you are to help me. I want to say thank you. So extremely proud of the people that I work with on this board. That's why thanks go to them. Thank you all.
Again, thanks to Tom Azarello for putting that together and bringing it in. I'd also some of you have already been in the memorabilia room, and really all those cutouts and all the pictures that are on the boards by decade was all done by John. I mean, I know I've been sharing, I'm sure you can attest how many hours that he spent, you know, putting that together and so on. So, and that's the reason we're here tonight. But as most of you know, it was his vision to start the Hall of Fame, but John needed some help along the way. And one of those people that he called on early was the other co-founder, Mr. Bob Montgomery. So at this time, I'd like to ask Bob to come up and say a few words.
In 1989, I started working at the press, and 8 years prior to the Hall of Fame, I spent one of my free time learning the history of Bristol sports. And I had a fire within me that I don't think I ever realized. But when John approached me in 1997, a year after he thought about this idea, I said, okay. Then I met somebody who had a fire that more than equal that I had. I probably didn't show it to everybody, but I had a fire. John was awesome. I was a rookie. I didn't know anything about organizing sports or any organization. John came in, he had experience, and we talked to John Leone. We had John Smith be our first executive director, and the whole thing started. We wouldn't be here without John Fortunato. I truly believe that. Because everybody has ideas, I do too, and we'd probably start the whole Hall of Fame in 2020, it was up to me. But John approached me and kept the fire burning to make sure it happened. We're so fortunate, we really are. I remember one time, John didn't understand John at first, and I said, oh, everybody loves Sharon. He said, well, I didn't say that. He was tough. That was the truth. He was very truthful. He was always truthful. Everything he did came from the heart. So he couldn't kiss his butt or whatever, because he would jump. And we had minor battles, but he was the one to do it. And I'm so glad he did. And again, we wouldn't be here without John. And I love the man. We got to the point the last 5-10 years that we became friends, really respected each other. And Sharon, I'll give you a hug.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Again, I know Bob did play a big role in the formation of the hall also. It's now my pleasure to call upon Sharon Fortunato, who would like to say a few words. Sharon?
This is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but it needs to be done. Good evening. On behalf of my family, we would like to thank the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame, the officers, directors, inductees, and friends for being a part of this memorable dedication. John was a freshman when the Bristol Historical Society was known as the Freshman Building, and how proud and humbled he would be to have a room in the same building called the John Fortunato Room. As co-founders, John and Bob Montgomery have done a wonderful job in preserving sports in Bristol. Thanks to all the officers, directors, and members that were so dedicated to making the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame a success. Of all the things he was involved with over the years, the opportunity to be part of the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame was one of the most rewarding. He was dedicated to getting it right. The bios had to be just perfect, or he would go and visit the inductee and their family. He would spend hours downstairs cutting out figures so they would be ready for the banquet. The banquet was important to him, and after each Friday night banquet, he couldn't wait to call Bob Callett and see what he thought about the night. Whatever John did in life, he put in 100% and expected 100% in return. I want to thank Bob Montgomery, Jack Hines, Dave Mills, Hank Lodge, Bernie O'Keefe, Brian Farrell, Bob Callett, for your support in making him feel part of the organization when he wasn't able to give his 100%. I'm sorry. Okay. In 2010, he was inducted into the Bristol Troops organization and received the Chuck McCarthy Award. He also was inducted into the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame organization in 2012 in front of his proud family, friends, and peers, which is a night that we'll always remember as being a tribute to his dedication to the organization. So many wonderful offshoots of the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame came out of its beginning. The Scholar Athlete, Leadership Council, Golf Tournament, Speakers Program, and the Hershey Track Meet, to name a few. As a family, we would like to thank all of you for attending this celebration and dedication tonight for a well-deserving recipient. We were so fortunate to have John in our lives and as part of the Bristol community. We have lost our leader, but we have wonderful memories, and his legacy will live on. Thank you all.
Okay, the reason we are here tonight is to formally dedicate the memorabilia room here at the Historical Society, naming it the John Fortunato room. John was mainly responsible for most of the items on display in that room. As we had mentioned before, he spent countless hours preparing them for display in a variety of ways. So, on behalf of the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame Board of Directors, I'd like to present you, Sharon, with a plaque with the same wording that is on the bronze plaque that will be unveiled at the same time and be on permanent display outside the room. And it reads, John Fortunato Room, Museum Curator, Bristol Sports Hall of Fame Class of 2012, dedicated May 1st, 2014. Okay, again, that concludes this program out here. Again, I want to, on behalf of the Fortunato family and the Hall of Fame, I want to thank you all for being here tonight, especially so many members of our alumni. And I hope that you can spend a little time, reminiscing, looking through some of the exhibits. Again, the Military Museum is open, some of the Historical Society is open, and again, thank you for coming. What's that? You already did it? It's all set. So, thank you for coming and